I would like to know why there are so many men that hate black women, especially in hip hop. For the past almost 30 years, I've heard almost nonstop, around the clock conspiracy theories about the evils of the entertainment industry, and specifically the music industry. I've been bombarded with unsubstantiated claims of rappers being initiated into the Illuminati, humiliation rituals, people selling their souls in back rooms, and made to do despicable things in order to get a hit or sign a record deal. I've been told it's a terrible place for just about anyone, especially higher up, because people let the industry corrupt them. It's in 1,000 songs. There's Rule 4080. And for the better part of those 30 years, especially after Biggie died and the Locks asked to be let go, it's been known that Sean, John, Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Love Combs was near the top of the food chain, handing out bad contracts and committing acts so despicable that several of his former artists, like Loon, Craig Mack, Shine, and most famously Mace, found different Abrahamic religions after leaving Bad Boy. The same Puff that shared some of the blame for people being crushed to death at a celebrity basketball game. The same Sean that everybody agrees groomed Usher by bringing him to sex parties as a young teen. The same Diddy that Justin Bieber tenses up around. The same Puffy that people found out blew up Kid Cudi's car. The man who shot a woman in the face at a nightclub and let Shine do the time for it. I was led to believe that this man was a deviant waiting to be taken down after we all witnessed what he did to Cassie and being beaten and dragged by him. And even though it was on video, when it was time for Cassie to speak her piece, suddenly not only do some people think that Cassie was a willing participant, but seem to believe that everything Sean, I know a guy who can plant bombs that blow up cars and not have it make the news, Combs, and her were consensual, and he needs to be found not guilty and left alone. Boosie, of all people, wants people to stop focusing on what two adults did in their sex lives. Boosie, who never met a gay person he didn't harass. Boosie, who allegedly had his own son sexually assaulted to ensure he wouldn't be gay. Boosie, who cannot stop talking about Lil Nas X being gay, a man who is 17 years younger than he is. Boosie wants people to leave Puff's sex life alone. Boy, if you don't get I want to get this video out soon, so I'm not going to go into all of the nuances around this subject. I'll save that for later, but I do need to let a lot of y'all know that you're out of your rabbit ass minds for thinking that there's so many evils being committed by men in the music industry, and yet somehow whenever it's a black man, that just doesn't seem to be true. How is it that every single male is being railroaded and falsely accused? How is it that when there's direct evidence, somehow it's not enough for people who have committed crimes against women, especially black women? Why is it never enough? Kendrick said these predators move in flocks, and I fully believe that. Chris Brown, probably the number 3 worst man in the industry next to R. Kelly and Puff himself, decided that he, along with Aubrey, See You, and Court Graham, Ye, Kodak Black, Trippie Redd, Pop Can, Ty Dolla $ign, A Boogie, and Joyner Lucas should join forces, and began sharing sentiments of free Tory while sharing a change.org petition asking for him to be pardoned. Ironically, Chris ended up in jail with no bail for his dumbass decisions, which kind of speaks for itself, no? Tory was found guilty of shooting Meg Thee Stallion, and she's being harassed to this day about it. The victim is being harassed because the state found him guilty. Megan never brought those charges up against him. The state of California did, due to his recklessness and a phone call he made where he damn near admitted to everything. And it doesn't matter for some people. A black man couldn't possibly have committed a crime against a black woman. It makes no sense, right? None of them are ever guilty. It's always a conspiracy, and their victims aren't ever victims. They just want to bring black men down. And I hate y'all for shit like that. I really do. I cannot stand y'all. It's one thing when a white person erroneously accuses someone, especially black people, and specifically black men, of crimes they didn't commit due to racism. But this isn't that. Black men are doing these things to black women, and as much as people claim to care about things like abuse against women and children, the moment women and children are actually victimized, there's always people excusing it. What's really telling is R. Kelly, Puff, Chris Brown, the survivors of their attacks have mostly been black women and children, and yet, oh, that's different.
What the few people. Every famous nigga that gets arrested is not Nelson Mandela. Yes, the government conspires to put a lot of innocent black men in jail on fallacious charges. But R. Kelly is not one of those men. We all know the nigga can sing. But what happened to standards? What happened to bare minimums? You a fan of R. Kelly? You want to help R. Kelly? Then get some counseling for R. Kelly. Introduce him to some older women. Hide his camcorder. But don't pretend like the man is a hero.
Even look at someone like Diddy, a rapper, who has credible evidence against him for allegedly abusing Halle Bailey, the mother of his child. Interestingly enough, I feel like I'm hearing less about the dirty dealings of the industry. It doesn't matter that there are bigger names behind Puffy and the rest. They're currently the faces, and people can't really say they're being tossed out for keeping secrets, because then they would have to admit that these idiots did something wrong. Funny how that works. When it comes to Puff and Cassie, and specifically what Cassie and her texts have said, you're allowed to like things and then stop. You're allowed to enjoy something in the beginning and eventually realize it's not what you want. This is a foreign concept for a lot of people because when it comes to anything sexual with women, the common belief is that they deserve all the hurt they get for enjoying sex in the first place, which again is weird because women get admonished for liking sex, so how are they supposed to have it? And just because they've had experiences with someone or doing something, that doesn't mean that they have to continue doing it with that same person forever. You don't owe anyone access to your body, man or woman. And when it's time to say no, that's enough and a complete sentence. On top of that, you know she tried to leave, right? Like, we saw the one time where she ran off on video, and we watched Sean Combs snatch her up and beat her. He threw things at her and then had the hotel hold that video for years. Puff by himself was enough to hold her back. He's a billionaire who has hordes of enablers and yes men and paid bodyguards. Lots of large men around who not only overpower Cassie, but also outnumber her. Diddy was also her boss that signed her to an impossible record deal, and at 17 years her senior, began dating his 19-year-old employee who ended up having to do sex work instead of her job for her boss. Her boss that knows people who can bomb cars without making the news for a decade plus. Somehow people think she was a willing participant in years of abuse. And once again, Megan was shot. She was the victim of an attack and as a result has been harassed for it, just like Robin Givens was beaten up by Mike Tyson, the literal most dangerous boxer of the time, and was made out to be a gold digger who wanted to ruin his career. Dr. Dre beat up Dee Barnes and she was blackballed. It goes on and on and on. I expect race traders like RG3 and Jason Whitlock to say dumb and ignorant things about black women while propping up white women. That's because that's just in their nature. RG3 has recently been going viral for his tone-deaf and stupid takes about Angel Reese, and multiple posts have been floating around about him repeatedly calling his white wife milk. These are supposed to be outliers, but these days I can't tell the difference between them and every other person caping for powerful entertainers who wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. And it's worse because it's obvious that they hate black women to the point that they believe a black man could do no wrong. And honestly, I know that's not the case. They don't think any of these men are innocent. They like that these men have harmed black women. They revel in it. None of them think Puff and the rest are innocent. They want to continue the trend of harming women and get away with it. How else do you explain watching what Puffy did to Cassie on video and somehow think he's the innocent one? How do you see the pictures of Rihanna's face and body after what Chris did and think he deserves redemption? Remember when people were saying it was a fair fight between them and she lost? Well, they're still saying that. But these are the lengths that people go to disparage women, especially black women, for daring to come forward about the abuse they've received. And I'm still side-eyeing people like Mario, who did a song with Tory after he shot Meg, just like Puff did. And I'm not sorry, but I don't care about the whole Joey Badass battle, especially when he did a song with Chris Brown a couple of years ago and in response to the backlash was saying it was an honor to work with him. For me, he lost before he started. Talent truly does trump morals, and honestly, it's not like they have either one of them. So I'm gonna keep an eye on all these situations for now and shake my head until some of y'all gain some sense. Until then, I'm Brilliance Proper. Peace to you and yours, unless you're an abuser, apologist, enabler, fan of Tory, Chris, Puff, Kelly, whatever. Respect black women.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. And then the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. We will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.